You cannot reason with terrorists. You can't sit down at the table with them. You can't have coffee with them and pretend that you have the same worldview and everyone wants the same things. And if we were all just nicer to each other, we could dance off into the sunset and everything would be fine. There are certain people that don't think like you and I. And that's something that's unfortunately very difficult for a lot of people in the West to understand. Check out this clip with Elica talking about this topic when she sees something on the media to that nature, where a media presenter says, why can't we just kind of talk to them? So check this out. But before you do, hit that subscribe button over there in the corner. You're not going to want to miss this. Check this out.
Is this a serious question? Did you try just talking to the terrorists?
On making Hamas the ultimate boogeyman that you can never talk to, you can never negotiate as long as they're there. There's no partner for peace. They're just like the epitome of absolute evil. And I don't know, I'm not here to like whitewash or sanitize Hamas, but you know, when you're actually sitting face to face with members of that group and you're talking to them and they're explaining their reasoning and they're staking out positions and negotiating with you like they are human beings, because they are, it makes it much more difficult to maintain that caricature and have it stick. And it's such an important part of overall Hasbara propaganda campaigns.
The mistake that Western elitists make is thinking that because they are educated in the epicenter of civilization, that they have some superior knack for understanding the rest of the world, when in actual fact they have absolutely no capacity to understand these regimes that they aren't familiar with. When these regimes give you their reasoning and their explanation, guess what? It's a red herring. Their underlying motivation is that this land, wherever it is in the world, they believe that that land is divinely ordained for them. And their objective is to kill everybody who doesn't agree or who doesn't comply. So how dare you, who is not subjected to the threat of terrorism on a daily basis, who doesn't have to live under a terrorist regime, sit on your high horse and judge the people in the Middle East as if we haven't spent 1400 years trying to negotiate our way out of jihadism, as if 1400 years ago when the jihadists came to Iran and said, submit to our rule or we will send you a people who love death more than they love life, as if we didn't try just reasoning with them, as if the people of Iran haven't tried just talking to the terrorist regime occupying Iran, as if Afghan women haven't tried just reasoning with the Taliban enforcing mandatory veil over their faces and not allowing them to speak in public, as if the Christian Congolese who were beheaded by Islamists didn't try just talking to them and asking them not to behead them. And yes, jihadists are human beings, as you accurately pointed out. Do you know who else is a human being? Charles Manson. Did you try just asking Charles Manson not to kill people? How about Ted Bundy? Why not? What's the point of a criminal justice system? Why not just say, hey, Ted, could you just not kill and rape women forevermore? What about Hitler? Hitler. Did you ever try talking to Hitler? Guess what? Yeah, there were many years where diplomatic efforts were attempted with Hitler, but didn't work out because, you see, Hitler had a death mission, and you can't negotiate with people who have a death wish. So no, we don't need to listen to anything they have to say. We've been listening for 1400 years, and the only time that I intend on listening to jihadists is when they're on trial in an international court of justice that finally has the wherewithal and moral clarity to de-jihadify the Middle East. That's the only time I intend on listening to jihadists going forward.
Yeah, that is the problem. Western elitists, Westerners in general, have a very difficult time believing that anyone has a different mindset, a different worldview than we do. We know conceptually that people believe different things, but we treat it like different tastes. Like, I like the Dolphins, you like the Jets. I like this, you like that. I'm a this political party or that political party. And you know, if we're more or less good actors and coming in good faith, we can sit down at the table and find what we agree upon and focus on that. That's not how terrorists work. And this is a bizarre thing that you find in the West, where we sit in safety, thankfully, we sit in safety and look downward at people in the Middle East who are under a completely different situation, not just in Israel being attacked by Islamic jihadists, but in Afghanistan and in Iran and so forth. To look over there and think to yourself, why can't they just do like we do? Why can't they just talk to their neighbors like we do? Their neighbors are different people. The people that they're interacting with are of a completely different mindset. Yes, they are human beings, but their worldview is as if they're coming from a completely different world. If you like this content overall, hit that subscribe button over there in the corner. We'd love to stay in touch. Take care.